Welcome back to another exciting Excel workbook. This is video 2 for the Auto Loan Workbook. So in this lesson, we are going to learn to apply the payment function of Excel equals PMT. And at the conclusion of video 1, you created this worksheet, and you also created a comment that details how to use the payment function. First up, make sure you have this worksheet completed. Ask any questions that you may have so we can get that completed. And then what we'll want to do is go ahead and format these cells. The principal amount borrowed is going to be dollars. The interest rate is going to be a percent. Time period is going to be a value. We can just leave that as general for now. And the monthly payment will be dollars, of course. Let's take a moment to discuss how the simple interest formula needs to be adjusted to accommodate the payment function of Excel. Let me go ahead and show that comment. Now, our principal amount can remain in dollars, as is shown. The rate is something that we need to adjust, and the reason we do is because of this NPER, this little variable right here, number of periods. When we did our simple interest formula, time was always converted to years, but when using the payment function, we're interested in the monthly payment, we need to indicate the total number of payments for the loan, not the total number of years. What we have to do is take the number of years and convert that to payment periods, which for our purposes will be monthly. Now, once we do that, we're going to also have to convert the interest rate because it's calculating the payment based on a monthly payment, but our interest rate is given as a yearly rate, an annual rate, frequently referred to as APR, annual percentage rate. So we're going to have to adjust this value for the interest rate and convert it to a monthly rate so that when we do put in this particular function, everything is on the same basis. The rate is monthly, the number of periods is monthly. Fortunately, that is not too difficult to do. We all know that there are 12 months in a year, but we will have to enter a formula for the interest rate, and we will have to go back to one of our previous videos where we learned how to convert percentages to decimals. So we've got to move that decimal place 2 places to the left here and put in a formula. So 4%, in order to use this function as we create our auto payment calculator, we are going to have to put in a little formula to convert that 4% to a monthly interest rate. And so we'll do that by typing the equal sign, convert that 4% to a decimal value, which is 0.04. and then divide that by the number of months in a year, which is 12. And I will do that one more time. We have to convert the 4% to a decimal, move the decimal place 2 places to the left. Equal sign, 0.04 divided by 12, 0.33%. Now we can go ahead and apply the payment function to calculate how much our monthly payment would be if we were to spend $30,000 on a car, obtain a loan at 4%, and borrow that money for 5 years, 60 months of payments. Here we go. Start with that equal sign, PMT, parenthesis, and you'll notice right away it brings up the payment function and gives us some indication of what elements, variables that we need to add to this function. And the first one is the rate. Now we could use this function and enter our values indirectly. We could put in the 0.04 divided by 12, the number of periods. But what we want to do is create and utilize the power of Excel to create this little auto payment calculator so that when we change our variables, a different car, different time period, it can automatically calculate the payment for us. Let's apply the payment function and calculate our monthly payment. First up, once we put in equals payment, we can see that we are prompted to put in a rate, number of periods, present value, which is the principal amount, and some optional variables here that we will omit for now. So we will use rate, number of periods, and present value or the principal amount of our loan. First up is the rate, so we can simply click in the cell where the rate is located because we've already converted that to a monthly rate. And then we need to separate these variables with a comma. Next is the number of periods. We'll click where we have that in B6. Another comma. Present value of the loan or the principal amount that we are borrowing today, $30,000. And then we'll enclose that with a parenthesis. And notice that it returns a negative value indicating that we're making a payment of $552.50. So to avoid that, what we want to do is double click back into the formula and then make our present value here a negative. And then it will return a positive value for us. So there's our monthly payment, $552.50. And I'll go through that one more time. Equal sign. PMT for payment, parenthesis. Click on the rate, separated by a comma. Click on the number of periods, separated by another comma. Type a negative sign for the principal amount so that it will return a positive value to us as far as our monthly payment. And enter. So there's our monthly payment. If we were to buy a $30,000 car with a 4% loan for 5 years, that would be a monthly payment of $552.50. We're going to conclude video 2 with that information. And when I come by to look at it, what you'll want to do is demonstrate that the payment function works correctly. And the way you can test that is just go ahead and just buy a different car and just change that one variable. For example, what if it's a $35,000 car? Our payment goes up to $644. What if we decide that's too much money and we want to change the length of the loan? Maybe it's going to be a 72-month loan. Well, we can simply type in 72. Our payment goes down because we're spreading our loan out over a longer period of time. And you could also change the interest rate. What if I get a better deal on an interest rate? What if I can get a 2% loan? What difference will that make in my payment? Quite a bit. How about if I want to pay this off in 3 years? Equals 12 times 3, or 36 months. Got to pay a lot of money per month, but we get the loan paid off sooner. So be prepared to demonstrate that. Make sure you save it as Auto Loan Workbook Video 2.